This event is the UALR Expo event, basically for undergraduates to represent their research on every type of field, social science, chemistry, biology, to present their data and whether they found any new discoveries.
These crystal structures are phaolite. It's what the mantle of the Earth is made of. It's what the mantle of every rocky planet most likely is made of. We find it in asteroids everywhere. The original purpose of the research was to use this phaolite to trap in carbon from the cycle, remove it from the atmosphere, and slow down global climate change. Our end goal is the tube structures that we see. We've gotten some good tubes out of it. We've gotten a lot of these little clusters. We have no idea what they are. Research is ongoing. Our next steps are to investigate, to figure out what's going on at each individual stage of synthesis.
So I'm looking at two subjects with autism spectrum disorder, ASD. I have a 12-year-old participant and a 15-year-old participant. I'm basically looking at the social skills. So basically I looked at pre and post videos of these subjects and I administered and scored these tests. There's this small little pebble that they place behind the child's ear to kind of help see if it keeps them calm and stimulated while being assessed. And it's amazing to see the pre-test versus the post-test. While in the pre-test, the child is rocking or finger tapping versus the post where they're just calm.
So what I'm presenting today is my research into garnets found at Crater Diamond State Park. And the point of this research was to look into the garnets and see whether or not they were all the same chemically or whether or not there were variations within the formation as a whole. What we found was that each of the garnets themselves have the same chemical formula across the entire crystal, but the garnets, the different crystals have different chemical formulas showing that there were multiple events leading to the formation of this Crater Diamond State Park.
My research is about using graphene supported tin dioxide nanoparticles. So in my case, I try to use a metal that is not very commonly used, tin. So with that metal, I combine that with graphene. From what I've noticed is that I can use the tin and graphene together to produce oxygen. But nowadays in the environment, we have a lot of carbon dioxide. Even like, for example, the astronauts in NASA, when they go into space, they have a lot of carbon dioxide in their cell. We can use oxygen and produce oxygen for them using this kind of method, which is very low and cost effective.
Water is being polluted and it contains like heavy metals and some inorganic compounds. So we use here in wood saving tip, we treat with some waste water and make it to useful like drinkable. I think in future this can be very good material and very economically viable and eco-friendly, so this product can be very helpful for future.
It was definitely very interesting to take on research. I had never done anything of this caliber before, and I learned a lot of unique skills which I hope to apply later on, and just generally how best to go about doing research.
So what I hope is that using a material like tin, which is cheap, will be more efficient. You can buy tin very cheap and use that to produce oxygen instead of using nickel, iron, or cobalt.
It's just been a lot of fun. I've been very interested in what we were going to get, and I've learned a lot more about chemistry that I didn't know before.
I actually didn't know a lot about ASD, but doing this research, doing my McNair paper, looking at all of the articles, the lit reviews, I have learned a lot.
Micrometer,
Phosphate from wastewater, right? So this wastewater can be from like